The great estate of Collinwood in present time, a house besieged by secret treachery, where two children have come under the evil influence of a vengeful ghost, and they know they are destined to enter an unknown world, a world symbolized by a doll's house called Rose Cottage. They also know they are destined to have company there, and so under Gerard's guidance, they make a doll named Letitia, and they place it in Rose Cottage, knowing that whoever Letitia is, she will be drawn to their secret room.
This room. I can't be here. Why am I here? How can this be? There is no room. This doesn't exist. It doesn't. Music. The same music I was humming. Who wants me? Who called me here? Who are you? No! Let me out! Let me out of this room! I know you. I don't know how or where. Playroom. Yes. Oh, and Rose Cottage. Letitia. I am Letitia. Oh, Gerard, how could I have forgotten?
Elizabeth, have you seen Carolyn?
Not for hours.
I left her sitting with Maggie, but she's gone.
Didn't Maggie say where she went?
She didn't know.
Well, she probably thought of something she had to do.
But I told her how important it was not to leave Maggie alone.
Julia, why is it so important?
Oh, I'm just worried that she might have a relapse, that's all. But don't worry, Elizabeth. I left Mrs. Johnson sitting with her.
Julia, why hasn't Maggie gotten better? Well, then why can't she be left alone at night? I don't understand.
Well, she just gets very restless.
Well, possibly that's because she's well enough to be up.
Would you like some coffee?
No, thanks.
I'm afraid it's very difficult to understand. Maggie is certainly recovering from the attack, but she's still suffering from shock.
I wonder what kind of animal it could have been.
None of us has any idea.
he reading?
Oh, a fascinating new book on astrology. A whole new world has opened up to me. I know you don't believe in my horoscope, but I find it a great comfort to feel that the future is not as obscure to me as I once thought it was.
Well, obviously, astrology is reassuring, or so many people wouldn't believe in it so much.
Well, I find it easier to believe my horoscope than your and Barnabas's predictions.
Elizabeth, we were here in 1995. This house was in ruins.
I'm sorry, Julia, but I'm inclined to think it was a dream. No ghost has appeared.
Well, none that we know of.
Julia, you're not being sensible. If anyone had seen anything the least out of the ordinary, we would have heard of it.
Perhaps.
I know that dreams can seem very real, but there comes a point when one must admit...
The point has not been reached yet. There are still 3 clues. The destruction of Rose Cottage.
Whatever Rose Cottage is, you haven't been able to find that out yet.
The murder.
Please, Julia. I don't even like to hear that word.
Well, neither do I, Elizabeth, but a murder will take place.
And Carolyn will sing a song. That's the last clue, isn't it? Well, I look forward to that one, to none of the others. Because Carolyn has no song. In fact, Carolyn cannot sing. Take a mother's word for it.
How do I remember you, Gerard? How do I remember all the lovely times we used to have back then? Back in those days. Before Carolyn Stoddard was even born. You've given me this sight, haven't you? So that I can see a past I never knew, yet feel I was a part of. Just as Letitia was. I'm so grateful to you. So grateful. Remember how Letitia used to thank you? To please you? I will too, Gerard. I promise. I promise. And soon.
No matter how much you pooh-pooh it, Elizabeth, I am not going to give up trying to find out everything I can about these clues.
And do you think those old diaries will tell you?
Possibly.
Whose is that?
The original Quentin's. Oh, isn't that funny? I just opened to a page which was exactly this same day in 1839.
And what terrible event happened?
Nothing, seemingly. He had a vision of the future.
Did he find us in it?
Oh, nothing as dramatic as all that.
And tomorrow?
Tomorrow, he got a package of books delivered from his booksellers in Boston. A collection on witchcraft that he had ordered from England. And in the evening, there was a concert here in this very room. Carolyn.
Where have you been? I thought you were going to stay with Maggie.
I had to go and find something.
What?
A kind of a present.
Present for whom?
Why, for everyone.
Carolyn, are you feeling all right?
Yes, of course, Mother. Excuse me.
I'd better go and talk to her.
After a most pleasant concert, we settled down to an evening of champagne and whist.
I remember. And then...
Carolyn,
You're supposed to say how pretty I look.
why are you here in this room?
Why are you, Mother?
I followed you here. You behave so strangely. What are you looking for?
Everyone in this house is always looking for something. Julia and Barnabas prowl in and out of rooms. You don't follow them around. They find books and diaries. Why can't I be allowed to help?
Leave it to them. Now take off that silly bonnet and
No,
come along
Mother.
with me. Carolyn.
You're talking to me as if I were David or Hallie. I'm not, Mother. And I have not finished here.
Well, I'm certainly not going to leave you alone here.
Oh, but you are, Mother.
Carolyn, what
Mother,
is wrong?
please. Nothing. I've just become interested in the past, that's all.
Why?
I can't concentrate if you're going to ask me all these questions. Now, I'm doing nothing wrong, am I?
Well, no.
Well, then let me do it, Mother, please.
Will you come down soon?
Soon, Mother. Yes.
Very well. We'll talk later.
Of course. Oh, here it is. Gerard's surprise.
Afternoon, Doctor.
Hello, Mr. Shaw.
I came by to see Maggie.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but she hasn't been seeing anyone today.
She's not worse, is she?
Well, no, she just had a restless night.
Doctor, she's going to be all right, isn't she?
Oh, if she continues as she is now, yes.
Doctor, do you think you could go upstairs and ask her if it's possible that I see her?
Yes, of course I could. Why don't you wait in the drawing room?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Shaw. I'm sorry.
So am I, Mrs. Hawkes. I had hoped you'd gotten over that feeling that I looked like your late husband.
It's not that.
What is it?
Excuse me.
I'd like an explanation.
Would you?
Well, then, if it was something I did, well, then I can avoid doing it again.
It's nothing you've done.
What is it?
Just seeing you, I suddenly felt so sad. But not because of Jeb. Just because of you. You're so very unhappy.
Well, I never thought of myself like that.
Because you're terribly dependent upon someone. And you don't want to be.
That's ridiculous. I'm dependent upon no one.
Yes, you are. I can see it now.
Yeah, but you couldn't see it when you first met me, could you?
No, not then.
Well, I haven't changed.
I have. Indeed, yes, I can see into people now. Honestly. Past the surface. Deep. I can see their sorrows and hurts. I suppose you might call it a sort of second sight.
Is that true, Carolyn? Mr. Shaw, I'm terribly sorry, but Maggie's asleep.
Oh, now, honestly, Doctor...
Now, why would I lie? Carolyn, please don't leave. please. Mrs. Stoddard would like to see you, however, in the upstairs sitting room. It's just at the head of the stairs. Carolyn, I'm fascinated. All the years we've known each other, and I'd never heard about your second sight.
Perhaps I didn't know I had it.
You were serious, weren't you?
You shouldn't have been listening.
I couldn't help hearing. When did you realize that you had this gift?
What business is that of yours?
Anything that happens strange in this house is my business.
You've
now.
made it so.
Carolyn, your mother and I thought you behaved very peculiarly last night.
You have no right to judge me.
If something has happened to you that you haven't told us, if
I don't know
for
what
some
you're talking
reason
about.
You do. Why do you pretend that you don't? Last night you said you wanted to help us.
I can't help you. I can't.
Carolyn!
Really, I'm just as concerned about Maggie as you are. Even more so, I think. And she's getting the best of care.
Well, I'm sure she is, but Mrs. Stoddard, could you please just ask her if she could just see me, just for a moment, that's all.
Oh, I'm sure she will when she feels better. When Maggie is better, I want you to do her horoscope. I've become quite a believer.
Glad to hear that, Mrs. Stoddard.
I can't believe I ever discounted astrology. Oh, there's a fascinating book you must read. It's in the study. I'll get it for you. Excuse me.
Why don't you tell her the horoscope is false? Why don't you admit that it's all a lie? You see, I do have second sight, Mr. Shaw. Or else I wouldn't have known that.
No, well, you don't know anything. You're totally wrong about that horoscope.
Oh, no. I can't see why you did it, even looking at you. But you deliberately wrote predictions that are false.
Go tell her
Oh,
that.
I won't, no. It means too much to her. I just wish I knew why.
Mrs. Hawks, I'm very serious about my work.
Well, you don't need to tell me that.
Look, I believe every word that I wrote in that horoscope, every word.
You sound so convincing when you say that. If I didn't know...
You know nothing!
You know. That's not true.
Here you are, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shaw.
What were you talking to him about?
Why, nothing.
That's not true.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Carolyn, I want to talk to you.
No, not now, Mother.
Why not now?
It's going to be dusk.
What has that got to do with it?
I have to light the candles
Why?
for my surprise.
Carolyn, what are you talking about?
I'm very nervous about it, really, but I must try to be calm. You may call everyone in.
Why should I do that? Carolyn, what are you doing? Why are you behaving this way?
I want everyone to be comfortable. All right. You may call them in.
Julia!
I'm not going to be as good as I should be. I haven't practiced for so long, but I think everyone will understand. Oh, the candles.
Carolyn, you must come to your room.
Now? It'd be absurd. Not now. Not until after my surprise. You're not going to ruin this for me, Mother. You're not.
Carolyn?
There's no one else coming. Where are the others? start now.
Start what?
My concert. Please sit down. For my first number, I should like to sing my very favorite song.
No, Carolyn, no.
Mother, please be quiet. You must be quiet, otherwise you'll ruin the concert for everyone. I wanna dance with you, wanna dance my cares away. I'll be so close to you.
The clue.
In your arms I'll always stay.